Good morning, adventurers. My name is Ben, and welcome to a morning show where I sit around, drink some tea, and talk about D&D. I am so excited about today's episode because obviously we are talking about Fizban's Treasury of Dragon. However, first up, D&D news for today. I just said it. Fizban's is out. Check your pre-orders at your physical stores. Check your digital pre-orders. It is out now. Please, please, please go pick this book up and read it. It is so cool from what I have seen so far. Moving forward into the streams for today, we have at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/DND. The C Team should have an episode today, which, if you are keeping up with them, then you probably already know that. But again, if you're looking for smaller streams or something like that, you can always just search D&D as a category on Twitch or on other streaming platforms, and you'll be able to find plenty. If you're looking for them on YouTube, you should be able to look up something to the effect of D&D actual play or D&D stream, something like that, and you will be able to find what you are looking for. So get you some D&D in your life today. Before we get to T&D and then what we're talking about, again, reminder, all of the contributions that I get to my Patreon and the full payout at the end of the month for Patreon is going to be matched by me and then donated to the Trevor Project, which is, again, a phenomenal crisis hotline for LGBTQ youth. If you want to learn more about them, the link to their website is in the description of this video, as well as my Patreon link if you are interested in participating in that in any way. I also always really appreciate the support. And we're getting very close to the goal on Patreon for me to be able to push this as a podcast as well. So if we hit that goal, I'll be able to take this, make it an audio-only format, and put it out on podcasting platforms as well. So if that is something you would like and you are able to support the show, go check that out. Moving into T&D, we have one of my favorite mugs that I own. I've had it on the show a few times before. I am just a woman with a master's degree that loves tacos. Only one of those things actually applies to me, which makes the mug even more fun. But that's not really the point. The tea today we have is a... I can't read, apparently. It is peppermint, ginger, and lemon. For those of you wondering what it actually is, it is called Tension Tamer from Celestial Seasonings. This is a favorite in this house. I like it a lot. As I've mentioned a few times already on the show in recent weeks, I guess week-ish, I've been working a lot recently, so this is, I like Matees that help me calm down a little bit too, even when I'm just getting started, because every once in a while you need that little bit of mellow at the beginning of your day. But moving forward from T&D, we have covered everything we need to. We're going to get into the single thing that I've been most excited to talk about on this show since I started doing it, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Fanfare. I am so excited about this book. This is just a first look. This isn't a storybook, so I'm not going to tag this for spoilers or anything like that. There's no real story spoilers that I could be getting into here. We are just going to sort of like gloss over what the different categories are in here and a little bit about what it is that we are actually looking at. I am looking at a digital copy of the book, and I am getting my physical one later today. I am so excited about it, because I love physical books, and a physical dragon book is going to make me extra super happy. But it's got it broken down in what I think is kind of a weird way, because they've got it categorized in different ways than I would categorize it necessarily, because they've got it indexed out and stuff like that on here. Not the point. We're getting into what we're talking about. There are 6 distinct classes, 6 distinct chapters in this book. In your first chapter, you have character creation. Your second chapter, you have dragon magic. Third chapter is dragons in play. Chapter 4 is layers and hordes. Chapter 5 is the Draconomicon, and chapter 6 is the bestiary. We are going to just kind of like cruise through these real quick. I have taken honestly 30 minutes to look at these so far, the whole book so far. So this is really just a first look kind of thing. Character creation, we got the 2 subclasses that we were looking for in the Way of the Ascendant Dragon and the Drake Warden Ranger. which, like, the Drake Warden isn't necessarily, like, the greatest ranger subclass mechanically, but God, we are going to see so many of them, because when you play a ranger, you go Beastmaster because you want an animal buddy, but really, 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 you want that dragon friend, right? Like that's what makes it cool. There's I'm gonna be shocked to see any Beastmasters following the release of the Drake Warden. I'm gonna be honest with you. In addition to those subclasses, we got expanded sub race options for Dragonborn. Actually differentiating chromatic gem and metallic dragonborn in a really pretty interesting way. They also, on first glance, because I was actually curious if they were going to do this or not, revamped the breath weapon. It still is not great, but your breath weapon deals d10s of damage now instead, up to 4d10 as opposed to 5d6, which was the original setup that they had. And I believe for all of them, I can't remember now because I just sort of glossed through it. You have 2 options for what you can use your breath weapon for, which is really pretty cool. I'm pretty positive that is accurate, at least for gem and metallic. I think it's also accurate for the chromatic dragons. Chromatic Dragonborn. There we go. There are a couple of feats that you can take that are specifically related to dragons. They have something called the Gift of the Chromatic Dragon, Gift of the Metallic Dragon, Gift of the Gem Dragon. Those are like feat-esque things as well that on first read seem pretty cool. Dragon Magic, I have not gotten to dive into all the spells. That's going to be more of like a hardcore like parsing apart of things. They look pretty cool though. We see a couple of the ones that were exciting before. The one that I was really excited about that I haven't read it like detail because I haven't had time to yet. But Rolithim's Psychic Lance in playtest was phenomenal, like so good. So I'm interested to see if it actually continues to hold up to where it was, because it was really good, really powerful. Like Mind Whip level powerful, which is saying something. It's 4th level spell, so it's scaled up to that level of power, if you know what I'm talking about there. If you don't, check out Tasha's Mind Whip. It's a really good 2nd level spell that honestly will ruin some people's days. Moving on, not moving on yet. Draconic magic also includes magic items, horde items, draconic gifts, that sort of thing. The draconic gifts, distinctly different from the Gift of the Chromatic Dragon, Gift of the Gem Dragon, Gift of the Metallic Dragon stuff. These are like physical things for the most part, or like some kind of enhancement that you can get. Dragons in Play is a very long chapter here, which is actually honestly pretty good, because for a game called Dungeons and Dragons, there is a criminally low amount of actual like roleplay advice and roleplay like detail on the dragon bit. There's quite a bit on like dungeons, and most of the adventures, have some kind of, I don't know, dungeons in them. Not all of them have dragons in them. So them sort of laying out good ways to characterize your dragons, the lifespan, reproductive cycles, deaths, that sort of thing of dragons, what sort of impacts those things can have, shape-shifting, gods, organizations, followers, encounters, adventures, campaigns as a whole. These are all going to be really cool things, I'm sure. I'm so excited to actually get into them, to take a look at what it is that they've got to offer there. Moving to layers and hordes, this one is a little bit shorter because they actually lay out a lot of stuff in the actual descriptions of each of these individual dragon types. You see it in the monster manual, actually, even. The chromatic and metallic dragons that are listed in there, they have a bunch of layer regional information listed in there that is all super good information. So I'm not super surprised that this is a relatively short chapter, but they have hordes in here, and I believe they are probably going to have some recommendations for stuff you can put inside of your dragon hordes, which is good because we didn't have that before, and honestly, I kind of think that we do, in fact, need that. Alright. Now, the Draconomicon is chapter 5. This is your lore bits for all of your different dragon types in here. creating the dragons, personalities for the dragons, adventures revolving around the dragons, helping you build layers for those dragons, the treasures that those things might actually hold in those layers. This is where you're going to find all of that, like, biographical almost information for dragons, for these types of dragons, which is so cool because they do lay out all of the different dragon types that we have access to so far, including the ones presented in this book to a certain extent. This also includes a Dragons of Legend section, which seems to just like help you sort of build lore around a dragon, which is awesome because oftentimes a dragon that is worth actually noting is going to be one that has a lot of lore connected to it. So it's cool that they give you this sort of template to help you work with that. But they, all of the like true dragons, we'll say true dragons, it seems they have laid out here. I say that they also have dragon turtles, fairy dragons, that sort of thing in here. So they're not quite all true dragons, but the dragons that would collect and hoard things, potentially for the most part, are listed out in here to help you out with that. And then I am so excited to get to dig through these stat blocks, just this gross conglomeration of numbers, descriptions, like crunchy garbage that nobody should want to read. I am so excited to actually get to read through every last one of these because, God, it's going to be amazing. You get all of your gem dragons, right? All of these psionic-based gem dragons. You've got your amethyst, you've got your crystal, you've got your emerald, you've got your sapphire, and your topaz. I'm reading through the list of all the things in here, and my eyes were not finding what I wanted. Moonstone. Did I say moonstone? I don't remember. I might have. I'm so excited about those. I am beyond thrilled about the Elder Brain Dragon that they teased and the Eye Drake that goes with it. They have all of these like little side creatures almost that actually provide super cool, almost like additional support to these dragons that you're going to be building out in your game. They're the least, no, not the least. The most eye-catching of them for me, of which is the Horde Mimic, which is not a mimic that lives in a horde. No. It is a mimic of a horde, I'm pretty sure. The art makes it seem that way, at least, which is insane. Which is so cool. I'm so excited about that. Oh, man. In addition to all of these, like, dragons and supporting things, they've got things like Hollow Dragons, which is, like, almost a Draco Lich, but not quite. A Lion Drake, which is, I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's a lion dragon thing. Sea Serpents. Horde Scarabs, which are, little things that live inside of dragon hordes. Egg Hunters. They have an expanded piece on dragon turtles and include stat blocks for young dragon turtles, which is awesome because we didn't have that before. And honestly, dragon turtles always felt like kind of like a thing to run because you were stuck with the giant stat block for the big one. So the fact that they gave us a little one is amazing to me, at least. A Draco Hydra, which is like a mini Tiamat. And speaking of Tiamat, they redid her for this book, kind of. They didn't. So in Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat, that's what the other one's called, they gave us, obviously, a CR30 stat block for Tiamat, which is, obviously a lot. She is the true CR30 monster there, as opposed to the Tarask, which is good enough. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. They did not bring back Tiamat for this one. They instead gave an aspect of Tiamat, which is an interesting way to do it, because they also did one for Bahamut, and they both are CR30s, and I maybe should have been expecting this, but I wasn't. I maybe should have seen it in some leak somewhere or something, but I didn't. And so I'm excited that they're here. The thing is, I think they realize that they overdid the original Tiamat, and they instead gave us like a CR 34, 35 monster with that one. Because these are both CR 30. And not to say they're not good, but they don't stand up to the original Tiamat, and probably for good reason. But they are both very, very cool nonetheless. I would not want to fight either of them, to be entirely clear. They're both terrifying. But to my mind, for my money, even more terrifying than the aspect of the two core dragon gods that are presented in these books are the great worms that are presented in these books. This is something that I have wanted that I didn't know that I wanted. I'm so excited about the great worms, right? I have wanted, I love the concept of there being these like ancient beyond ancient, powerful beyond powerful, draconic forces in the world that have been long buried, long forgotten, that sort of thing, that are just literal forces of nature, more so than their normal counterparts. Like, these things step on ancient dragons. I flipped through them because there is one for each type. So there is a chromatic, a gem, and a metallic great worm presented in this book. And they are all CR upper 20s, obviously. And they, from what I could tell, again, I need to sit down and really sort of like pick apart the stat block, are so good. They are so cool. And I mean, they're listed as gargantuan because 5e doesn't have gargantuan above that. But let me see if I can real quick find the art for one of these guys, because it is something else. I'm not. Oh yeah, here you go. Here. Don't know why my camera stopped working there. Okay, I found the artwork though. Okay, check it out. This here, this guy right here. Let's see. Yeah, you can't see it on my iPad. That is a red great worm. That thing it's burning down, that is an entire town. A whole town. Guys, that's a whole town. It's bigger than a city. That's insane to me. I'm so excited about that. That right there is how you end a campaign. That is your titan that the party takes down as the final stroke of a campaign. It's so cool. And then there's a bunch of sidebars because this, again, is written as a sort of memoir type style thing, which is what they've sort of been going for with these supplementary books, which is so cool. I'm so excited about that. You've got a bunch of like lore built into it from Fizban, who we haven't really gotten anything from in 5th edition, but it's still super awesome. I'm so excited to read this book. I'm so excited to get to pick it apart and really go through it. This is easily the single book I've been most excited for in a long time. And that includes things like Tasha's, which I was beyond pumped for. I am so excited about this book and to really get into it. But that is where we are going to end our first look today. Thank you guys so much for making me part of your morning routine. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much in particular to my patrons. You guys are the ones that really make this show possible. If you guys are able and willing to support the show, the link to my Patreon is in the description of this video. Again, all of the contributions to my Patreon for this month and the payout at the end of the month are going straight to the Trevor Project. After I go ahead and match them to double up on whatever you put in. So even if it's just $1, that becomes $2 automatically because of my match to that. So thank you guys in advance for that. And thank you guys so much for supporting the show in future as well. But as I mentioned, that is it for today. I'm going to go throw myself at this thing a little bit harder. So I am excited to talk to you guys tomorrow. But until next time, keep on rolling.